Today we're going to take our first look at LNAT reading tests. We won't be looking at specific strategies in your approach to the tests, such as whether you read the text or the questions first. Now I'll leave these to individual preferences. I'd rather like to introduce a few basic principles that you might apply to help you navigate this most tricky of reading tests. Unlike other reading tests, the LNAT Section 1 moves beyond the identification of discrete chunks of information and general comprehension tasks towards tasks that ask for the implications of a series of statements, identification of assumptions, distinguishing fact from opinion, and other higher order reading tasks. The first principle I'd like to introduce to you is that of the non-redundant modifier. By modifier, I mean a word that adds information and reduces the size of the category we're looking for, just as the word red would do for an apple. That is, if we were looking for a red apple rather than just an apple. Here, with this principle, we need to pay particular attention to the modifier in front of our key term in the question. Right. Here's the text for you. Pause the presentation here and take a little time to read through the text. Okay, so here's the first question. And the first thing to notice is the use of the word except. Why might this be an issue? Well, simply because unlike in the great majority of IELTS type questions, where we skim and scan for answers and stop once we've found what we believe to be the correct one, we need to find 4 that are incorrect and by elimination arrive at our correct one. The workload is greatly increased, isn't it? Anyway, we're asked to find examples which illustrate China's growth in car usage from the list A to E and find out which one is not represented in the text. Straight away, we might notice the phrase actual growth and remember our first principle, that is, where there is a modifier to the key term, that modifier will be important. So we'll be looking through the text for the items mentioned in A to E and checking if such reference is to growth which is actual, that is, growth which has taken place. So let's start looking. Here's our basic text once more. You might wish to pause and reread this. Now, reference to Beijing's roads once being curb to curb with bikes is picked up in answer option A. And we might infer from this that this change in circumstances is a current observation and as such is a change which has been actualized. So A can be ticked off. Now, there is a comparison made between Shanghai and Lagos and Cairo. And this is to a current state of actual pollution. So we can cross this one off as well as being representative of actual growth. Development in Chinese cities is highlighted, and such development is described as taking place in different forms. Each of which can be crossed off as having taken place or being actualized. So we're left with E. Have we missed something? Well, let's check E and see if it fits. Well, E makes reference to no more bicycles or cars, but more importantly, this is to be in 20 years' time, and as such, the statement functions as a prediction. So, the growth is not actual, but rather predicted. Thus, our focus on the modifier has directed us away from growth in general to only that growth which has been actualized. Our first principle asked us to recognise that the key term would cover our answer options, but our specific option would be signalled by the modifier, and here it was the use of the word actual.